Welcome to the GCSE Maths Advantage. I'm Dr. James Carter, and every episode I'm going to break down one topic, show you where the marks are, and give you a quick win you can use in your next exam. Whether you're targeting a grade 7 or pushing for a 9, let's get into it.
Hook. Imagine a student staring at a triangle on an AQA paper, spots two sides and an angle not between them, and immediately writes down the cosine rule. 5 marks later, they realize the question could have been solved more simply with the sine rule, but they've already lost time and method marks. Sound familiar? This episode stops that guesswork and turns it into a decision you can make in 10 seconds.
Promise. In the next 11 minutes, you'll learn a simple decision flow for choosing sine or cosine. 2 short worked examples, one for each rule. Exactly what examiners want to see for method marks, and a 20-second checklist you can use under exam pressure. Let's start with the concept.
The concept. First, what the sine rule is and when to use it. The sine rule links sides and opposite angles. In words, the ratio of a side to the sine of its opposite angle is the same for every side of the triangle. Written as words in your head, it becomes a choice. If you know an angle and its opposite side, and you know another angle or its opposite side, use the sine rule. The simplest quick rule, ASA or AAS, or an angle and the opposite side are known, that's sine rule territory.
Example 1. Sine rule. Picture triangle ABC. You're given angle A equals 40 degrees and side A equals 8 centimetres. Side A is opposite angle A. You're asked to find side B opposite angle B equals 65 degrees. Say the sine rule out loud. A over sine A equals B over sine B. So A divided by sine A equals B divided by sine B. Substitute. 8 divided by sine 40 equals B divided by sine 65. Rearranged, B equals 8 times sine 65 divided by sine 40. Do the calculator step. Keep your mode in degrees. We will talk about that in the checklist. And you'll get the numerical answer. Write that full substitution down. The examiner wants to see it.
Now, the cosine rule, what it is and why it exists. The cosine rule links the lengths of 3 sides with the cosine of an included angle. It's the generalization of Pythagoras for non-right triangles. Use the cosine rule when you have 2 sides and the included angle, that is SAS, or when you need a side and you know the other 2 sides and the included angle. A good memory line. SAS, reach for cosine. Example 2. Cosine rule. Triangle ABC again. Suppose sides A equals 7 centimetres and B equals 10 centimetres, and the included angle C equals 50 degrees. You want side C. The cosine rule in words, C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C. Say that aloud as you write it. Substitute. C squared equals 7 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 7 times 10 times cos 50 degrees. So C squared equals 49 plus 100 minus 140 cos 50 degrees. Calculate the right-hand side, then take the positive square root to find C. Don't forget the square root. Examiners mark that.
Why the algebra works, briefly. The sine rule comes from comparing ratios of heights when you drop perpendiculars in the triangle. That common height gives the equal ratios. The cosine rule comes from expanding dot products or from Pythagoras after projecting one side onto another. In short, cosine adjusts Pythagoras for the angle between sides. You don't need to memorize the derivation in the exam, but understanding it helps you trust the formula and avoid algebra mistakes. Let that sink in. Exam technique. Here's how marks are actually awarded. For a typical 3-mark question using the sine or cosine rule, the breakdown looks like this. M1 for correct labeling or setting up the correct formula, M1 for a correct substitution and evidence of algebraic rearrangement or method, and A1 for the final answer with an appropriate degree of accuracy. That means even if you can't finish the arithmetic, write down the correct substituted equation and you'll usually keep at least 1 or 2 method marks. Write it down, don't just think it.
Specific mistakes that lose marks: not labeling which side is A, B or C, failing to show the substitution, forgetting to rearrange before using the calculator, using the wrong calculator mode, radians by mistake, and for cosine rule, omitting the square root sign at the end. To collect M1 marks, always write the formula, then directly under it write the substituted numbers with units, and then show your rearrangement or numerical evaluation. Examiners love this one. It's simple and it wins marks.
Quick win, a 20-second decision checklist you can say to yourself under pressure. 1. Identify the known bits. List the known sides and angles. 2. Spot SAS. If you have 2 sides and the included angle, pick cosine. 3. Spot ASA or AAS or an opposite side and angle pair, pick sine. 4. Check calculator mode is degrees. 5. Write the formula, substitute straight away, and box your final answer with units. Do this in that order and you eliminate the guesswork. And a 10-second substitution check. After you calculate an answer, substitute it back briefly if possible. Even a fast check catches sign or rounding errors. Don't skip the check.
Practice challenge. 2 short exam-style questions. Pause now if you like and try each one on paper for 30 seconds. Question 1. In triangle ABC, angle A equals 32 degrees, angle B equals 78 degrees, and side A equals 12 centimetres. Find side B. Question 2. In triangle ABC, side A equals 9 centimetres, side B equals 12 centimetres, and angle C between them is 40 degrees. Find side C. Ready? Pause if you need to.
Guided solutions. Question 1. Angles A and B are given, and side A opposite A is given. That's sine rule. Set up A over sine A equals B over sine B. So B equals A times sine B divided by sine A equals 12 times sine 78 divided by sine 32. That's M1 for the setup and M1 for the substitution. Calculate and give A1 for the numeric answer to the correct accuracy. Question 2. You have 2 sides and the included angle C. That's SAS, so cosine rule. Use C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C. Substitute C squared equals 9 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 9 times 12 times cos 40 degrees. Evaluate and square root for C. Again, write each step to preserve M1 marks even if the calculator part trips you up. If you made an arithmetic slip, the examiner can still award M marks for correct method shown. Marks are there for the taking.
Final recap and CTA. That's your decision flow. Identify knowns, spot SAS or ASA or AAS, pick cosine or sine, write the formula and substitute. If this helped, you'll find diagrams and a downloadable pack of worked solutions in the show notes at jcacademyonline.co.uk. That's your quick win for today. Share it with a friend who's revising and come back for more short exam-focused tips. Stay curious. Until next time, trust the process and nail that exam.